Been on the trail the whole time since?
Yeah, all of us here that are involved with the trail have been will be the
whole time.
Duration.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And it started in San Antonio?
No. They started in Pond Creek, Oklahoma.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
2 weeks long, about 100 miles.
Okay. And is it still 8 to 10 miles a day? Is that what you're doing?
Yes, about that.
Okay.
The last day will be a long day. It's about like 14 miles.
So what happens to the cattle when you get to where you're going?
Some of them are individually owned, and some of them will be shipped out on a truck.
Some coming back.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least two purposes. Like these little loops right here, the wagon box itself just sets on the wheels and axles.
Okay.
They put these little loops, they call these standards, they put these little loops on here because if you were going to build a cabin or go cut wood and build a fence or anything, you took your box off, they'd stick a stick down through these that would make it up taller so they could stack hay in there or sticks or whatever.
Okay.
And you also would use these to tie your horses through the wheel.
Yeah.
So that the wheel couldn't turn and they couldn't get away, couldn't run off with it. And this is your wagon wrench. It holds the DoubleTree. That pulls everything. The horses pull. This horse pulls on here, and this is the wagon wrench. That also takes the wheels off. Fits right in there, and you loosen them up, you tighten them. So they didn't. That was the only tool they carried, and it was also had to be a main aspect of keeping the wagon going.
So you wouldn't want to lose that?
Now if you lose that, you're not going anywhere. The team just left and the wagon's still here.
Right.
But that way you always had your wrench to tighten those up with. And this is the DoubleTree and the Singletree. And these are what they call stay chains. This helps keep one horse or cow from getting ahead of the other one.
Yep.
If one does, they don't get too far, so that if one gets too far ahead of the other, the way your line's split, if one gets too far ahead, then you can't pull back anymore. The other one is holding the slack away from you.
Right.
And then this is the neck yoke. It goes on the end of the tongue, which is your steering wheel. The horses steer it by the tongue, and they stop it by this tongue too. You hook a snap in here and it goes to their harness.
Okay.
That goes underneath their belly and goes to the britchin that comes around both sides of the rear end.
Yep.
And that's what holds the wagon from hitting them, or for them to be able to stop the wagon.
Yeah.
So they're stopping it from out here.
Okay.
The strap goes back there, and it's kind of odd that
Yeah.
you know. But if this breaks, you lose your steering and your brakes.
Okay.
And they have the manual brakes up there, but the horses are usually do most of the stopping.
Yeah.
But that's what would, and it'd be more watertight.
Yes.
And so that kept it dry in there by having the tree pine wood in it. It was something I found interesting.
Yeah.
And they use different woods like hickory and oak and stuff for different things because of their properties that they had. Some were stronger, but they were more apt to split. If you were like on these, I think they used hickory on these because it would it wasn't as stout as oak, but the oak was more likely to split if you're pulling the grain apart like this. And the hickory was a tighter deal. They would send them out in the spring with 6 oxen and a gun and a skillet and, you know, a little bit of stuff. Can you imagine one 12 to 16-year-old boy taking 6 oxen and traveling halfway across the United States by himself? Every night and every morning he had to unharness those oxen, let them get something to drink and find them something to eat, take care of himself, and kill something to eat if he wanted something fresh, otherwise he'd just eat, you know, mix up some old biscuits or something.
Right.
And how many 16-year-olds do you think trust to go across the county, let alone across the country?
Right. We won't even let them walk across the street without a crosswalk.
Right. Just fascinating.
You know, in case they didn't need weapons very often on cattle drives, but there's 2 families in this area who had great-great-grandfathers that came up the Chisholm Trail, and they have their weapons, and they wanted them to go with us for one last time on the Chisholm Trail. So there's 2 of us that are carrying their Colt 45 armies on this cattle drive for the last time up the Chisholm Trail. It's an honor.